This time a bit of logic with regard taking metering data, storing it, and then sending it out via FTP or email or even PDF. But it's all to do with meters. This is some logic that I wrote that's on the numerous sites now for electric meters, and it's recording the data every half an hour. So there's 48 bits every day, naturally 24 hours in a day, and this is recording every half an hour. Now what we do, well, you can see with this logic here that we are taking firing triggers every 30 minutes. This is just for meter one. I mean, of course, we've got it duplicated down for 100 meters. We're using two COM ports. One's got 60 Modbus meters on, the other one's got 40. Now, most sites, they only have 20, 30, 40 meters maximum, but I wrote the software to take up to 100 meters for Jace. Now, the numeric latch, with a normal numeric latch, you would trigger the clock, and whatever value is on the in, it will put into the out. Now, with this particular numeric lock, I've actually taken out the transference. Let's just show you what I mean. We look at a normal numeric latch, which I've just brought across onto here. If I right click this, views AX slot sheet, and we look at the out there, right click that and config flags. See this transient here that's ticked, it's greyed out, so you can't really untick it. It won't let you untick it. You've got to run some software to untick it. So what that does is, if your station is actually rebooted, power goes off and it's restarted again, it actually clears the data and puts it back to a zero value. Well, we don't want that. We want to keep that data in the out block until it's re-triggered again, which is going to be the following day at whatever time it is. Now I'll show you this. All these blocks are the same, but if we go views and AX slot sheet, and then we go to the out on this one and config flags, you see that's disappeared, that tick. So what that means is, whatever value is in there and you reboot the station, the value will remain in there until it's actually physically overwritten by the next input to the clock. And you can see over here, this, we must have some block somewhere that's been written. Probably not with that meter, but we have got blocks written. If I actually click on electrical meters, no, we've got no data in there. So we've got some meters named there, meter IDs, but we don't have any data. I really could probably go onto a live site so you can see that. Let me go on to got a live site somewhere that we can see. New York Street. Let's go to New York Street, or Vitro House. Let's try Vitro House. Now I'm not going to reboot the station here just to prove that point. Trust me, it works. The data does remain in there and doesn't get overwritten to a 0 value. Okay. Drivers. Elect meters. Now this is via SIM card, so it's going to take a while to populate. There we go. So there's some 30-minute datas in there, total kilowatts, and what's being used every 30 minutes in kilowatts per meter. Now that data, let's come back out of that now. That data is FTP'd. In fact, I'll just stay in there and just show you it's saved as a CSV file in files. If I expand my services, see this OSS FTP service. It's One Site Solutions. There's a logo there anyway with him. Their logo. And this data is FTP'd. Normally before midnight, 11:40. So it's took the last data at 11:30, and then we will file it and we will send it to the server. Secure FTP as well. So that's sending the meters to the server. There's my trigger schedule. So last trigger was at 12:45 p.m. Next trigger at 6:45. So that's the FTP. Now the files itself are stored under the CSV and files, and we write to a main folder, and then we keep backups. I'm not going to open backups because there's lots in the backups, but this is the 30-minute kilowatt, so every 30 minutes it logs what kilowatts have been used, and this is the 30-minute kilowatt hours, so it logs every 30 minutes for kilowatt hours that's being used. If I close that down and go back to my local station, and we go to services and reports, you can see the report that was generated, or what makes it all work. Report service. So these are the two reports. So it's using a barger command, and we generate these reports and we save them to the files. So this report, 30 minutes kilowatt hours, is generated at 11:40 at night, and every night, and is saved. Report delay 10 seconds, and then the second report is exactly the same time, but I give a report delay of 20 seconds, just so we're not doing them both at the same time. You can get rid of one report and then it can do the other. Yeah, 20 seconds and at 11:40. Now that will create a CSV file, and it creates it from this component grid that I've got there. So for the component grid, if I actually just go to views and just go to AX property sheet for the moment, you can see that it's looking for everything in electrical meters, which is this folder down here underneath the date and time elect meters, and I'm selecting anything that begins with meters, and then I've used at the end of it, so meter, sorry, and then use the asterisk at the end of it. So it looks through this folder for the live data, and so you got meter 1, meter 2, meter 3 onwards. Now inside there we give it a meter ID. If we go back into that folder, so meter reading up there, floor 1 essential, and go back to the logic again. So if I right click that, views, wire sheet. So there's your logic again. So that's your first one there, is your midnight time, then midnight 30, 1 o'clock, 1:30, 2, 2:30, right through to 5:30. Then we latch at 6, 6:30, every half an hour, as you can see, going all the way through, and that's per meter. Now the report that gets sent out looks like, I got a report service on the component grid. Now it's probably not going to, well, there won't be any data in this. But if we right click that, go views, and go grid label pane, take a while to load. So you can't really see it properly, but you've got your blocks up at the top, and then you've got your different down the left hand side, the times, and then the values, and this is all put into a spreadsheet. Let's see if we can give you a better view than that. Right click, views, AX grid table probably. Yes, that's a better view. So meter ID, reading date, meter time, we just wanted that, but we know it's an analog input. And then you got your block 1s, which is your midnight, all the way through to block 48. And that just collects the data of the meters, and that puts it into, as I said at the bottom, the files and CSV file, and then the FTP sends it. Simple as that. So that's your CSV file for the 30 minutes kilowatts and 30 minutes kilowatt hours, and then the FTP from OneSite Solution sends that to the server. They collect that information, and whatever they do with it I don't know, but they're definitely doing some sort of monitoring, of course. And that's it, and we've put this across on quite a few sites now, but that's simple metadata via Modbus, taking the value, storing it in the numeric latch, and then the live value is being sent with the component grid to CSV, and then CSV is being FTP to the site. I think that's it for now. If you like what you've seen, can you subscribe for me please, and I'll get you on the next video.